Okay, hi there, this is Kim Willis with another video review, Guru video review. This time it's about a guy that you may have heard of, Tim Ferris, or Timothy Ferris. His main claim to fame is that he is an American digital nomad evangelist. Okay, and he wrote a book that made him famous. You've probably heard of it, 4-Hour Workweek. And if you haven't heard of it, or if you haven't at least bought the book, go and buy it, read it, see what you think of it. But basically, it's a book where he demonstrated that he could make money by working 4 hours a week. The rest of the time having fun doing what he wants to do, adventuring and so on. So we'll have a look at that in a minute, but the 4-Hour Workweek was his flagship book. Then he followed up with other books such as the 4-Hour Body and the 4-Hour Chef and so on. So he's created a brand around this 4-hour concept. Okay. Now, income sources, book sales, of course, sold a lot of books, public speaking gigs, consulting assignments, and he's also an angel investor. So he will put up some money and take a stake in that business. All right. Now, Brickbats and the bouquets. I always like to feature this little segment. Brickbats. The concept of the 4-hour workweek is perhaps not feasible for most people. Certainly not for me. I have no interest in only working 4 hours a week. I like work. Work is my adventure. It's my creative outlet. So for people like me, it's not feasible. I don't want to structure my life that way. He did, and I guess he's got a lot of followers who want to do the same thing, and maybe some of them are replicating what he's doing. Although I will say this, that a few months ago I had a request for a consultation. Now the consultation fell through because of a mix-up in the time zones. This guy was in a different country to the country I was in, and I never was able to deliver the consultation for him. Now here's a guy who has actually worked with Timothy Ferris, and he was having problems with his business, and he certainly was not he didn't get it down to a 4-hour work week. He was putting in a lot of time, and it wasn't working for him, and that's why he sought me out. Okay, strategies are very entrepreneurial, so they may not be duplicatable for most people. Really, for people who have an entrepreneurial mindset, they have a commercial mindset. There's an entrepreneur inside trying to get out. That's the sort of person that will go well with these strategies. Some people will find the 4-Hour Workweek book a tough read as well, because it's almost like a blueprint. Okay, he may even say it is a blueprint. It's I can't remember how many pages. I haven't actually got it in front of me, but because I'm traveling as well, so I travel light, But when I read the book, I did find it somewhat heavy going. It's not like a novel, right? It's quite instructional. So, and there may be 500 pages in the book. Maybe even more than that. It's a serious book. Now, bouquets. He expanded people's vision, and he is still doing that. Also, he was a catalyst for the development of the digital nomad industry. And the digital nomad industry has become somewhat bigger in the last 5 years, perhaps 10 years, but certainly in the last 5 years. So now you have these hubs throughout the world, and in fact, I am writing a blog post about this and about this phenomenon. And there are hubs, for instance, Bangkok in Thailand. That is a hub for digital nomads. There are workplaces shared workplaces and so on in Bangkok. Chiang Mai in Thailand is another one. The problem with Thailand is more to do with visa problems. That's a big one. trying to secure a longer-term visa is it's messy. Okay, oftentimes you have to keep leaving the country and then come back in again for another couple of months, that sort of thing. They've got a military government there now. They're not particularly friendly, and to me it's not as attractive as it used to be as a destination. But one country that is really coming up in the ranks, or one city that really is coming up in the ranks, is Ho Chi Minh, or otherwise known as Saigon, in Vietnam. And certainly in a survey that I had a look at towards the end of last year, Saigon was right up there. It was certainly in the top 10. It may have been number 4, number 5, something like that. So that's another one. Berlin is another one. Barcelona, kind of lifestyle cities seem to feature in it. Even Melbourne in Australia was featured. The costs of getting to Melbourne, getting to Australia, and the cost of living in Australia is really horrendous. So I certainly wouldn't be advising it for most people. Let's have a look at the links. Now this is the Amazon link, so you can see here a full range of the books that he has authored, starting with the 4-Hour Workweek. That was the original one. That is still the biggest seller. But then he's leveraged the brand, a bit like Robert Kiyosaki with his Rich Dad series. It started out with Rich Dad, Poor Dad, then leveraged it into a whole series of books. Okay, very good building, very good at building a brand. Robert Kiyosaki for sure. The 4-Hour Body, the 4-Hour Chef, etc. Now let's go and have a look at Wikipedia. He actually gets a Wikipedia entry. He's 38, balding prematurely, and he's an American. But he travels. He doesn't spend too much time in America, except for maybe for public speaking and looking after his business interests. He's a smart guy. He has a bit of an academic bent. There's an intellectual aspect to his personality. Okay, so he went to, he studied at Princeton and so on. He's a physical guy. He's done Chinese kickboxing. He used a formula there to help him get an advantage over his competitors. He founded a company called Brain Quicken, which is an online nutritional supplements company. But then he sold it. Wasn't doing so well. The experiences that he had running Brain Quicken led him to write the 4-Hour Workweek. He's tried television, run some pilots, didn't seem to go anywhere, but he's still in the game there. He wants to be a TV star. Publishing, investor and advisor, that's the angel investing side of things. He's an advisor to startups, so this is where he earns his money. But it really started with the 4-Hour Workweek. That's it. Everything flowed from that. So he leveraged the opportunity into multiple income streams that enable him, and they're kind of they're perpetuating income streams to a degree, which enables him to keep his work commitments to a minimum and then invest the rest of his time on his indulgences, his passions. So that's it there, and then we have his website. There's a capture there. That's a pop-up form to get people to subscribe. His homepage is actually his blog, so he has quite a vibrant blog, and he's promoting this thing which he calls the Tim Ferris Show. He's got podcasts, a multitude of topics. Some of them feed his lust for income, growing his business, growing his brand. Some of them feed his interest in intellectual areas. So has eclectic interests. We could say that. Yeah, eclectic interests. But I would get onto his mailing list for sure. Follow him. Get hold of his book. And if you love it, well, maybe you can become another 4-hour workweek disciple. How about that? You can follow him on Facebook as well, Twitter, etc. So that's basically it. Tim Ferris, a bit of background. I always try and give a bit of a backstory, which helps to kind of give the subject matter a bit more perspective, a bit more interest, and hopefully more value for you. All right, this is Kim Willis. Bye for now.